This month's giveaway is a $10 gift card for your choice of PSN, Xbox Marketplace, Nintendo eShop, or Steam. How do you enter to win? It's simple. All you have to do is be a subscriber. Would you want additional entries? Then all you have to do is leave a comment on any of our full-length podcast videos for this month. The winner will be chosen at the end of the month. Good luck, and thank you for watching. Welcome to the Press X Podcast, episode 11, your weekly podcast for gaming news and opinions, coming at you every Monday at noon Eastern, as long as I, publish it at the right time, which is rare.
Rare, yeah.
I'm Kevin McManus. This is Kellen Willard.
What's up?
Not too much.
Okay.
Today we're going to be talking about a PS4.5. We're going to be talking about what I think is the biggest news in Xbox PS4 history so far.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking a lot about VR, probably for the last time until games start releasing and they start coming out, because I'm sure people are tired about hearing about the VR. And PlayStation just revealed a whole bunch of stuff, so we finally have some concrete evidence and things to compare them with.
A date and all that good stuff.
So we'll be talking about that. Just some housekeeping. Obviously, Todd's not here. Rest in peace. He's in Vegas.
So he's dead to me. Yeah,
he's in Vegas with a bunch of people. I don't know. He wouldn't bring us, so
that's disappointing.
He's a jerk. He said he's going to watch the show. I don't believe him. I think we should say real mean things about him that aren't true.
We do that anyway.
And he'll never know. My Mega Man 7 Let's Play is live. I played through the whole game. I talked about how rough that game is for me. And you can see the issues I have with that game. But I played through all that. I'm going to be doing something new. I'm going to be cutting up the videos into sections, just topics that we talk about and things like that, and posting them separately. So for people that watch this on Monday, nothing's going to change. You can come here Monday, watch the whole video. This is just to get people that maybe don't know about the podcast in. So I'll cut up the topic on VR, and I'll post it separately. So you're not going to miss anything if you watch this whole video. You've got it all. It's just an additional thing. So more videos will be going live from us, but they're basically pieces of this one. And I thought of a new idea. So first off, if you have any segment ideas for the show, please leave them in the comments and we'll look over them and maybe we can add them to the show. But I was thinking about the unpopular opinion segment. We're going to run out of unpopular opinions.
Oh, yeah.
So I thought it would be neat if we had viewers comment with like a paragraph of an unpopular opinion that they have in gaming or nerdy news. And we read it and then talked about it and said if we agree, if we disagree, something like that. So I think it's kind of food for thought. It's an idea.
I like it.
Yeah. So if anybody wants to leave their unpopular opinions, I'll make a little folder and I'll put them all in there and then we can grab them and go through them when we don't have one to talk about that week. Because we've been doing a lot and I have a little board. And it's running low.
Crossing a lot of things out.
Yeah, so we can move into the news. This is a news week that I'm actually, I don't want to say excited, but I have a lot of opinions on a lot of the news this week, so it should be some good discussion. Despite the cancellation of Dead Island 2 last year because Deep Silver and Jaeger development separation, Dead Island 2 is resurrected this year. Deep Silver has found a new partner, and it's Sumo Digital. So Sumo's last game that I recall was Little Big Planet 3. Media Molecule kind of passed it on to them. I don't know too much else about the company. I know I really liked Little Big Planet 3. I don't think it's the best Little Big Planet, but I liked what they did with it. They adapted what they had to work with really well. Are you a fan of the Dead Island series? I guess will be my first question.
I've never played them. I only know like one or two people that even have played them.
Yeah. I'm so done with zombies.
Yeah, I'm burnt out on zombies.
That I don't care at all. But I know the series does have kind of a cult following. There are a lot of people. So I'm sure they'll be happy to hear that Dead Island 2 is back. And I would say in good hands. Though Deep Silver's publishing it, they do a lot of... Like, I haven't paid a lot of attention to publishers until we started doing the show, and I've been looking everything up.
Yeah.
They publish a lot of games. They publish, I feel like, the games that nobody else wants to publish.
Well, yeah, we'll pick it up.
Yeah.
Somebody else doesn't want it.
Right. That's how it feels to me. I don't know. publishing Mighty Number 9, so we'll see how that goes.
Yikes.
But yeah, this is just exciting news. Things that may seem dead could come back from the dead.
Like this island.
like a zombie. So, this news hurt my soul. Rime, the PlayStation 4 exclusive, seems to be exclusive no more. Sony has opted to give the IP back to Tequila Works, which will assume that they're no longer interested in the partnership. They could still be exclusive, I guess. They haven't announced that. But every other time Sony's done this, that means they don't care.
They've given up exclusivity, yeah.
Yeah, one of Sony's requirements for their games when they do this like partnership stuff is they own the IP. So things like The Order and Ratchet and Clank and stuff where it's another party working on the game, Sony owns that IP. Microsoft has done the flip this year, which a lot of developers have been happy about. Something like Sunset Overdrive, which was done by Insomniac, who also did Ratchet and Clank. The only reason they got that game exclusive was because Sony said no because they wanted to own Sunset Overdrive, and Microsoft said that's fine.
You can own it. We'll bring it over.
Do you remember Rime?
Not really. I remember hearing about it a little while ago.
They revealed it. When did they reveal it? I'm not sure. I want to say it was an E3, but I'm not positive. It looked like Shadow of the Colossus and Ico. You're alone. You're a younger age boy. You're climbing these mountains. Beautiful views. Lots of like fog in the distance, and you get closer, and it reveals this huge thing for you to, obstacle for you to overcome. So I was really excited when they announced this game, and Sony loves doing games like this, and they love promoting games like this. Like, this is what people know Sony for, is their little artsy games that they do.
Yeah.
Well, this is rumor, but somebody posted on Reddit or NeoGAF, one of those things, that Sony's been asking for their dev kits back because they don't want to fund this project because it's taking too long, just like Ico and Shadow of the Colossus.
Yeah.
So they've been asking for them back, and Tequila Works wasn't giving them back, and they finally, I guess, took action, whatever, and got them back. They said you can have the IP. I don't think they're funding it or whatever they were doing with the partnership anymore. The last time I remember this happening was with Remember Me, which I'm sure it's happened multiple times before and after that. But Remember Me was a PlayStation exclusive, and then they checked up on the game to see how it was going, and they dropped it. That game came out, and I liked it, but a lot of people hated it. It was very polarizing. I can definitely admit it's not a great game. I just think it's a cool idea that I would like to see expanded. So I'm scared, and the reason this is sad news is because I don't think this game is going to be good now. Hearing about this, we haven't seen it in years. It was revealed in 2013.
Yeah, it's been a while.
2014 or around there. It's been years. We haven't seen it. Apparently, the trailer that they showed when they revealed it was all CG, and that was just kind of their target trailer. Like, that's what they want to do, and it's not working.
There's nothing in engine at all.
Right. So yeah, I'm depressed because I was actually excited about this game.
Oh well.
So I'm gonna get over it. More Gears of War 4 news was announced this week. For those who picked up the HD Gears on the Xbox One, you get access to the multiplayer beta like they announced forever ago. April 18th is when that's going to launch. And then if you are a gold member, they're selecting certain gold members who can join on the 24th. And the beta is going to run all the way to May 1st, which is a really long beta. I imagine they're going to open this beta up to everybody.
I'd imagine
the last
weekend.
weekend.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. How do you get selected? Have they said anything about that, or I guess
No.
they'll just pick Gears people?
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, I feel like Gears people would have the beta already. I imagine they just look at things like how often you play, like your loyalty, how much money you spend in the store, things like that.
Yeah.
And they'll select people based off that are also gold subscribers. This is cool. I'm interested to see how the beta goes. I'd be interested to play it if I can get in.
Yeah.
I'd have to be a selected gold member because I did not buy the...
And you won't be selected.
Yeah, I not famously, but I in my video, where they revealed that, I was really mad that they didn't do the Marcus Phoenix collection. And while I would pick up the game now for cheap, like I said, I think I said last week that it was $10 at Best Buy. That deal's going to be going on. I still don't really have an interest in picking it up, and I just really wanted them to do all of them, or at least announce that they're going to do all of them.
Yeah.
And they didn't do that, so I don't care. But I'm sure Gears fans are super happy. It's interesting to note that would have been when Uncharted came out, like during Uncharted. So they may have timed that to go up against Uncharted releasing.
See how it would do.
Yeah, because if you're like, hey, Uncharted's out and you can buy it whenever you want, or you can play this beta that's live for 2 weeks, they may have gotten a couple people that have both consoles to be like, well, I'm going to play the beta, and then I'll wait on Uncharted, and then maybe they'll forget about it or whatever.
Play the timed one.
Mm-hmm. So, more Gears news. I'm sure we're going to get I think Gears is going to be the showcase at E3 for Microsoft. We're going to see so much of that game.
I could see that.
And I'm actually pretty excited about it. It's coming out. It's apparently coming out this year, so
I hope so.
That'll be their big November game. Speaking of Uncharted, though, Uncharted has officially gone gold. The new release date is May 10th, as we talked about. I was just a little confused. This is really early to go gold if your release date's over. Like, we have a whole month break in between.
Pretty much.
Unless they're expecting to sell so many copies that they're printing so many, or there was a problem with maybe the collector's editions because they have to make those statues and all that stuff. They have a lot of bonuses that aren't digital. I don't know why they delayed the game, because it seems like they would meet an April release date at this point to me, because I've seen games go gold 2 weeks before.
Yeah, it seems like they were ready. I'm not sure what they were waiting on.
If Halo announced that it went gold 2 weeks before, though, I might think, hey, is that enough time to print that, So I guess they're assuming there's like, a little under, but there's like 40 million PS4s, we'll just say. And I think maybe they assume they're going to sell, a 50, like a lot.
A lot of Uncharted.
A lot of Uncharted 4s. Like, that is the game. They've just got a lot of confidence in it, which is fair because it's probably going to be amazing.
Yeah, I hope so.
So, I don't know. Maybe they're just trying to print. I wish they were a little more transparent, I guess is.
Wish we had more information.
Yeah, but it's cool. It's gold. It's coming. They're
it's
not.
done.
They're not delaying it again.
No, they're done.
It is locked. A picture, I sent you this. A picture of the rumored NX controller has surfaced, and it looks just like the leaked patent blueprint that was released earlier this year. This thing looks awful.
It looked fake.
It looked very fake to me. It looked like somebody used a 3D printer, printed exactly what the patent said. It doesn't look practical.
No, it doesn't look comfortable at all.
It doesn't look. Yeah, it's almost like an oval, and then the joysticks on it are super teeny. Like, they're almost like the C stick.
They're like handheld, like tiny handheld joysticks. What they look like.
I was thinking they're like the C stick on the GameCube controller, that little nub. Except there's two of them now.
It doesn't.
And
look
that's
good.
the worst part of that controller.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's fake.
I hope it's fake. It does not look good.
I hope it's fake too. I think it's fake, and I couldn't make out what was going on. Like, I don't understand. If you have leaks like that, you would think that you would do something a little more, like, people would believe it a little more than just like a side picture.
A bad picture of a bad controller.
Yeah, like you have the technology. You could take a video of it because it's clearly a screen.
Yeah.
You could take a video of the screen working and stuff. I don't know. It just looked really fake to me. If that is the controller, I'm interested in that reveal.
I'm something in that reveal.
Because it's a little much. And we found out the PlayStation's release date, they might be going up against each other. It might be like PlayStation VR is its own console, if you think about it like that.
Yeah.
And Nintendo's, which is probably going to be cheaper. We'll talk about that. They might release around the same time, which would be interesting.
If that's the real controller, it won't be that interesting.
it'll be neither of them will sell well.
No,
probably. So this one popped up yesterday. The Batman Telltale game got some new information. and I'm very excited for this one.
Yeah.
I'm currently playing. I was thinking about all the Telltale games. I've played Walking Dead, and I don't really like The Walking Dead. I like the game. I don't like that universe.
Yeah, I'm neutral. I played the season 1 of it. Really good, but
I played Walking Dead Season 2. I played Wolf Among Us.
my favorite one.
Yeah, which I had no connection to that universe. So I'm playing through Borderlands. I have no connection to that universe. I've never played Borderlands. And now they're finally making one in a universe I care about. And I've liked all those other ones.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to absolutely love this game. So some of the details that they talked about, it wasn't much. They didn't even have like a video to go with it. But they talked about it was going to be rated M, which is good, I think.
It's Batman. It should be.
Mm-hmm. And it's not going to, or at least they alluded to, I don't believe them, but they talked about how it's not going to have Batgirl and it's not going to have Robin and Nightwing and like all these characters. It's more about his personal life. It's Bruce Wayne's personal life. So it's going to be like Alfred and, people that are closer to him. And then they're going to give you scenarios, and the gameplay of it is choosing if you want to play as Batman for the scenario or play it as Bruce Wayne. So it lets you decide if you want to do, I don't want to say stealth, but if you want to go in as the brooding, strike fear into whatever the problem is and take it out, or go in as Playboy Bruce Wayne and try and figure it out from the inside. Very interesting.
That's an interesting idea. I think I like it. I want to see how it works, though.
I like it, too. I feel like we're going to we have the Arkham games, which are good games. We have the Arkham games for Batman, if we want to be Batman. But they aren't great at doing the detective part of him.
That's the part I like of Batman, is the detective work.
This seems like it's going to be a detective. Yeah, it's going to be like the Wolf Among Us skinned with Batman.
That's what I want. That's exactly what I want.
I'm very excited for. And it's apparently coming out in August.
Really?
Mm-hmm. That was their target. Oh, and then the only other thing that I remember that they talked about was that it is not going to be like a realistic looking game. Obviously, they said they want to make it very comic book style. I'm picturing like almost like Sin City.
Yeah.
But they haven't shown anything. That's just kind of what I picture.
I'm okay with that.
Almost a black and white Wolf Among Us. I don't know if it's going to be black and white. It's just their reveal trailer had a lot of black and white in
Maybe
it.
It'll be just real muted colors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
almost like the BVS look, maybe.
Yeah, I think it'll be like that. Oh, and that's another thing they talked about. It's its own universe. They made that clear because they announced a Marvel game years ago.
Yeah, a long time ago.
That was supposed to take place in the movie universe, and we haven't heard anything about it.
No, they hadn't said anything about it in a long time.
And then they announced a Batman game, so I have a feeling that game's dead.
They just let it go, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because typically, especially recently, they announce games and they have them out in a couple months. They did it with Minecraft Story Mode, and even Tales from the Borderlands wasn't that bad. I guess they showed a logo, and then it came out a little bit later. But I feel like that game, the Marvel one, is dead. I don't want to say the Batman one replaced it, but I feel like the Marvel one, we're never going to get that game.
May not.
I think something happened.
I'd be surprised if it did come out, but yeah.
Especially if they wanted to make it take place in the MCU, which is apparently very complicated because there's a lot of...
there's a lot to it between all the TV shows and...
Yeah, you can't stomp on anyone else's territory or feed or anything while you're doing it, so... Cool.
It'd be tricky.
So this is my favorite news story of the week. I think it's some of the biggest news because it's something everybody has been wanting. Rocket League seems to be the first cross-platform game. So PC players have been able to play with PS4 since launch. That's been a thing. You can do it on PS3. I know Unreal, I think it was. You could play with PC players because you could use a mouse and keyboard. I think that was their excuse for making it fair.
The smart people, yeah.
So Xbox came out and announced that they're allowing the cross PC play and cross other console play on Rocket League will be the first one. This is awesome.
I like it.
I couldn't think, I was trying to sit there and I was like, well, what's a negative of this? Nothing. It's more players. Your game should, in theory, go faster. Unless it, starts breaking stuff, but I'm sure they'll get it fixed.
I wouldn't think it would break anything.
Yeah, I'm sure they're when it's working, when they get it working completely. I can't think of a negative. You just have more players to play against.
You just have a bigger community, yeah.
Yeah, your game launches are going to be much bigger. Right now it's only for Xbox, like ID at Xbox games, which are the indie games, smaller games. So you won't see like Call of Duty cross play yet, at least. But I hope it leads there because, like I said, I just can't think of anything. Like, I guess communication and stuff, it might hinder that and make it more difficult. But you're already playing with the people that you were going to be playing with, I think. But so yeah, we have PlayStation 4s. Todd Lee has an Xbox because he's a big stupid.
Yeah, he's something.
He wouldn't join our group. So we can play Rocket League together now. It's kind of cool.
I'm okay with that. I think it's a good idea.
It's also interesting, and this is just something that popped in my mind. The PlayStation 4 has like Sweet Tooth, and the Xbox has the the Warthog.
Yeah.
That's going to be interesting, like how DLC works between. That's what I'm saying, like breaking things. Like I'm interested to see how that works.
Will the Xbox be able to? Will it have the information to make a
right? That's what I'm, because you'd have to have that, or
or it just doesn't work.
Yeah. So I don't know how that's gonna work, but huge news. I hope that PlayStation, openly welcomes it. And they're like, yep, yeah, okay, good. They've been talking about being okay with that forever. It helps MMOs. Like Final Fantasy 14 Online, which is the most popular console MMO by a mile.
By a lot, yeah.
Yeah. It helps games like that. It helps MOBAs. It helps anything online that requires a community. So I'm excited. I'm happy. And I look forward to when this is activated. They just announced it, but I'm looking forward to when it actually launches. So another rumor surfaced this week, and this one was pertaining to the PlayStation 4. Last week we talked about Phil Spencer, the head of Xbox. He wanted to have some sort of upgrades to consoles or do a yearly, something like a phone does. He didn't go into specifics, but he's like, that's where I see consoles going. Well, it seems Sony may be releasing a PS4.5. It'll have better processing power and the ability to play 4K games and videos. So last week I talked about this, and I was opposed to it. How did you feel, like, gut reaction to this?
I don't like it for consoles, but I see why they want to do it. But I don't think it fits the console market.
I feel like they did this with the 3DS, and it didn't go over very well.
I still play a regular 3DS. I don't have a new one. So.
Like, there's people that are mad because there's certain exclusives. There's a couple.
They were a couple that came out last week, like the emulator stuff is 3DS only.
That's what I was going to get to, yeah. So there's, like, Xenoblade was a new 3DS exclusive. Majora's Mask has, like, extra textures if you play on the new 3DS. All these things. But then they announced that the Super Nintendo games were new 3DS exclusive, and people were like...
If a Super Nintendo can run it, my 3DS can run it.
Yeah, and you're just cutting off people from stuff that they want and making them mad. And I feel like no matter what, if you go down this path, you're going to make people mad. I don't think there's a way to avoid it. You're going to alienate some people because if yours runs it better, I don't think that's too much of an issue. But there's going to be developers who go, I have this great vision. It's not going to work on the older one.
It won't work on the 4, but it'll work on the 4.5.
Mm-hmm. Let's make a decision. Do we just cut off the other group? Yes. All right, we're doing it. And then you have a bunch of angry people at PlayStation or at Microsoft or whatever because they're like, hey, I can't play this game that theoretically, since consoles have existed, not quite, but for the most part, you've been able to play every game that comes out on that console. Yeah, there's some small exclusions.
Like my Genesis was its 32X expansion.
That's one of the sad ones. And then the Donkey Kong and the RAM expander for N64.
N64, yeah.
I mean, there's some small ones, but I feel like no matter what, this is going to alienate people.
Or they'll end up set up like PC games where you go in and set your resolutions and stuff ahead of time. Probably what they'll do.
That's possible too. And then once again, I say then shouldn't we just all buy PCs?
That's what I've been saying for a while.
Like,
'Cause
see,
you can run everything.
I don't say that because PC for me, I've had so many problems with PCs. They break, they crash my games, they cause all this texture pop in and stuff. Whereas if I play a PS4 version of the game, it's either working really well or it's a crappy port or whatever, and it doesn't work very well, and it's the same for everybody. But we could have the same stuff going on, and on my PC, it's not working, and yours, it is, or whatever.
That's usually how it goes.
So I feel like, once again, that's alienating a bunch of people. The reason they buy the console is you plug it in, it works.
Yeah.
And that's the reason I like console gaming more than PC gaming.
That's the only reason I still have consoles. Otherwise, I'd be entirely on PC by now.
Right. And I think this just makes people say, well, then I'm not doing it, or I'll do it casually, or I'm going to buy a PC.
I'll just move to PC, yeah.
Yeah, which really hurts Sony. Microsoft can still has some market share there, but it really hurts Sony.
Yeah, that'd be really bad for Sony.
Just some things that I was talking about. So there's two ways to do this. You can make it so you actually physically buy new hardware that kind of hooks on and makes it more powerful. I'm not quite sure how that works.
That was my first thought, was if you could do something modular.
Mm-hmm.
You literally just, like they used to have the intercoolers you put on the back.
Yeah.
But some of those didn't work well.
Right.
Some of the 360 ones actually melted to the consoles.
I remember that.
Yeah, I remember thinking that was hilarious.
I do remember that.
Or like the 360 hard drives that you could snap on and off. I thought that was a good idea.
That one was good.
I like that one.
I like that one too. Hard drives are a little different though, because they don't
easier.
Add power. Yeah, they're just storage is simple. So you can do that, or you can do it like a phone, where you return yours, or you get like a plan. If you don't like destroy the console, you get the new one next year or whatever. You pay however much to do that.
That'd be good for GameStop.
That would be good for GameStop. You don't use your phone like you use your console. Is my point. You use your phone literally at least once an hour for the most part. Like, I know I do, and I know most people do, unless you have a job where you're not allowed to. I check my phone all the time, just whether it's to check the time, whether it's to send a message, whether it's just because I'm bored and want to look something up, ask a question, check the weather. I don't use my console like that. I don't turn on my console and go, oh, I wonder what the time is.
I wonder what's going on the PlayStation.
Yeah, you just don't use it in the same way. So, like, upgrading your phone makes sense to me because you have it all the time.
It's with you always, pretty much.
Yeah, and your console isn't. It's more like a TV. I don't upgrade my TV every year to get better pixels.
A slightly better refresh rate.
Yeah, I don't upgrade my toaster, so it makes my toast faster. I don't care.
You should, though.
I should look into that, the toaster upgrade. I gotta upgrade the storage on my toaster. But so I just think it's a little weird. I think it's a different market. And like the 3DS one kind of made sense because that is something you carry around. And, in Japan, everybody has one. So it makes sense to me.
Yeah, they spend so much time traveling that they play a lot of mobile stuff. So
yeah, it makes more sense to me there. Here, I think it's weird. I don't like it. I hope they don't do it. But we'll just have to see. All right, so let's move into a question. This was an interesting one. When is too early for spoilers? So, for a movie, for a video game, for anything, comic book, when can you start talking about spoilers openly? And I feel like we're going to have, I haven't talked to you about this at all. I feel like we're going to have very different answers, but I'm not sure. So, what do you think?
Movies, I usually lean toward once it's out, released like on Blu-ray, DVD. Once it's been out for about a month or so, you're good to go. Mm-hmm. Hadn't seen it yet, then I don't care. If it's still in theaters, you definitely should ask first, that kind of thing. Games is a little different because not everybody gets games right away. It's kind of that's kind of an odd one. Mm-hmm. Usually I ask. Like stuff like, it would talk about a game that I know you haven't played before. I don't want to spoil because you might play it. Even if it's 10 years old, I still don't want to spoil it.
Right.
It's just kind of an odd thing.
I personally don't really think spoilers are ever okay. I always try to tiptoe, or if I know somebody's played it, then whatever. But even on this show, I always try to tiptoe around spoilers. I'll say there's a thing that I'll always kind of be like semi-spoiler for this, because there's this sense I have in my mind that not knowing is knowing with spoilers.
Yeah.
So if you tell me stuff that doesn't happen and things like that, that's more possibilities in my mind that just aren't true, and it makes me mad. And then there's also like fake spoilers. I've had that happen before where somebody told me something that wasn't true and I didn't know that they were joking. And then I went to see it with these expectations and it was wrong, and I was just mad. So I feel like you can almost never, like, I feel like spoilers are almost never okay, but it's so hard to just, then you wouldn't be able to talk about anything except for your opinions on stuff before you've actually seen it.
I usually just ask.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. And once you ask or you do anything like that, it's completely fine. But there's all these mainstream spoilers. Star Wars is the biggest example I can think of. Like, this phenomenon of all these memes, like with memes, it's really bad.
Oh, yeah, it just pops up and you're like, well.
Yeah, I feel like Deadpool's been pretty bad. Like, I see him everywhere, like pictures of him everywhere on the internet. I'm like, oh, yeah, that was a scene from the movie.
Oh, yeah, that was there.
But Star Wars is the big one. So I watched all the Star Wars with my little sister. And I was interested in her reaction to some of the things because they try to kind of put like a twist in every movie.
Yeah, I've had that debate before. If somebody's never seen Star Wars before, what order do you watch them in?
Mm-hmm.
Do you go 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, or do you go 1, 2, 3,
yeah,
4,
because
5,
you
6?
can just totally ruin the movies if you go.
It depends on which twist you want to lose.
So I was watching it with her, and I was excited because I was excited to see her reaction. And she started quoting things before they happened. And I'm like, this is stupid.
How do you know this?
Yeah, this is so dumb. And it's not how do you know this, because I know how you know. It's because
it's everywhere.
It's everywhere because of parody and all that stuff. But I personally just wish it wasn't. I know J.J. Abrams is big about that. He talks about a mystery box, which he thinks every movie should be spoiler-free. Every trailer should be spoiler-free. And you should go into the movies to see, like, you should
blind,
be super deceptive of all your marketing and everything, and then you go in, you go, oh, and that's
why his marketing for Cloverfield was so good. So
yeah, that you don't know anything about that movie. I definitely had thoughts. People have seen the movie. I definitely had thoughts going into that movie of what I thought was going to happen, etc. And then I saw the movie, and I was like, oh, that may or may not have hit those. So I like that better. But then there, on the flip side, I actively look up spoilers for other things.
Yeah, sometimes I just don't care.
Like, I know a lot about Batman vs. Superman. I've seen every clip that there is. I look for set photos and like Suicide Squad. I looked at all that stuff. So I feel like as long as you give a warning, you're fine. Like, yeah. I don't care. That's whatever. But I can't ever think of a time where I would want people ruining things, even stuff like, to give a personal example, Final Fantasy 13, which hasn't been spoiled for me because nobody cares about it.
Yeah.
But I'm so happy. I don't know what the next game is. Like, I finished 13 and 13.2. I have no clue what 13.3 is about still, and I'm going to play it in a week or two. And I like that. It's been out for so long. I like that I don't know anything. Every time somebody starts talking about something I haven't played, even if I don't think I'm going to play it, I tend to shut it off because I don't care. And then sometimes, like, I've had, like, Breaking Bad spoiled for me. I've had TV shows are terrible about it.
Yeah, that one's hard to
People
avoid.
Just willy-nilly post stuff about TV shows all over the place. So I've had so many of those spoiled for me to the point where I don't really care. So, I don't know. It's a topic that doesn't really have a correct answer. But I will say that whenever I feel like I'm saying something semi-spoilery about something, I tend to alert people.
Yeah.
Because I hate ruining things for people.
Sometimes I do. It depends on the people.
Just guess what? And you say something.
Oh, yeah, by the way.
That's what happened to me, and then it was a lie, and then I was real confused when I went and saw the movie.
Just didn't know what was going on. Yeah, we had a friend, we were going in to see episode 7 of Star Wars. He's in the bathroom to go see the movie. He's flipping through Facebook and
gets spoiled for him. And that was the day the movie came out, right?
He was in the bathroom to go in the theater. Like, we were already at the theater. He got the big spoiler on his phone before he went in the movie theater.
Yeah, like that. It's so stupid.
You're like, that's your own fault. You shouldn't have been on Facebook.
No, it's not. People on Facebook shouldn't do that.
Because he had the problem where he clicked on a meme and it was it was just there.
Memes are the worst.
I don't click on anything.
They ruin everything.
But he was smart. He didn't mention it to us, so he didn't spoil anybody but
Yeah,
himself.
I mean, that's nice.
He's not a jerk.
There was one story where some guy came out of the theater for Star Wars and yelled a bunch of spoilers, and all the people there beat the crap out of him.
I'm fine with that.
And the security guards let him. They didn't break it up.
I had to let him go. Because
Then they just let the people that beat him up into the movies.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Because we came out of that movie and they were still lined up, and I was like, what about, let's go outside.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to do that to them.
When I walked out, I was talking to we were all talking, and I was like, nobody say anything. Nobody make a facial expression. We're walking out.
Get outside before you say that.
Like, if people walk out of the movie and they're crying or whatever, then all of a sudden you're thinking, oh, it's got a sad ending or something. You know what I mean? Like that, you're putting any sort of preconceived notion into somebody's head about something. I consider it a spoiler. Yeah. And it's almost impossible to not do that, but I'd prefer if it didn't happen to me personally.
Yeah,
unavoidable, but
some things happen.
So now we'll move on to the thumbnail topic. This is just going to be VR in general. VR. This is the blowout talking about VR. Then we'll be done talking about it. So the PlayStation VR event finally happened. It was real short.
Yep.
I was watching it. It was like, I don't know how long, but it was probably maybe a half an hour, maybe not even. It was. They came out. They announced the price of $399.99, which is what I said.
Exactly what you said, yeah.
And it'll release in October. They were a little deceptive in that they didn't mention it on stage, but it requires a PlayStation camera to work.
Yeah.
It doesn't require the Move controllers that nobody has, but it works better with them, seemingly, because every game they show, they use those. 2 of them, nonetheless. So then they announced that in the States, there's going to be a limited edition bundle that has the camera and 2 controllers and a game, which is VR Worlds, which is basically all their tech demos that they've revealed, for $499.
Which is what I kind of figured.
Yeah, the camera is about $60. The controllers are $50 each at retail, which nobody pays. You can pick them up for $15 in pawn shops and stuff, or eBay if you're interested. So I actually think that's a little bit pricey. You can probably get it for cheaper if you do it separately. Like, you can get the camera right now on Amazon for $40. I know their camera sales went up 1,000% the next day.
Oh, I'm sure they did, yeah.
Yeah, but I already have the cameras. I have the controllers, so I'm just going to get this base model. And then I expected them to announce a bombshell game, a release game that was, not Uncharted because they're busy, but something big,
something with a name,
infamous, something. And we got a third-party one. We got Star Wars Battlefront.
That was kind of surprising.
VR is going to be like a PlayStation exclusive. That's their big thing. So interesting, way more broad than I was thinking, but smarter than I was thinking, because as we know from already this podcast, Star Wars is a big game, a big name.
That's a huge name, yeah.
That gets people real excited, real emotional. And so just tacking that onto your thing, if you do like a Star Wars bundle where everything's Star Wars themed, the headset looks like...
You have a Boba Fett helmet? Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I would buy that.
So that's super exciting. So they also dropped some news that they're going to reject games that aren't 60 frames per second or higher. I'm sure that it makes you real motion sick if your game doesn't have the frame rate. So that makes sense.
Yeah, that would be tough.
Yeah, yeah. They said that there'll be 50 titles before the end of the year. And the pre-orders will go live Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern. So the day after this podcast goes live, if you are interested, you can pick up your pre-orders. I know I will be there. Probably not getting one. They sold out real fast in the UK.
Oh, did they?
The Amazon UK thing. Yeah, they sold out in a few minutes. So let's just talk about the PlayStation VR news that we got. October. Way later than I thought.
Yeah, I didn't think it'd be that late.
Yeah, so they're actually... A lot of people thought they were going to be first to release. They're going to be last.
Yeah.
They did not hit their first half of the year. It seems like the GameStop CEO was right. He was not lying, like Sony tried to make it seem, which you have to do. Way later than I want it to be, because it made me go, maybe I'll look at another one real quick. Like, because I really, really want this, and they've gotten me so excited, and I want the VR, and now I'm kind of, I've settled that I'm not going to do it, but I thought about it. I was like, maybe I should just get a Rift.
Yeah.
And the thing that kind of stopped me from that is all their pre-orders are sold out, and they have their shipping date for their like next waves. They don't know. They're like,
hadn't built them yet. So
yeah, we have no clue when they're going to ship. So I'm like, well, I guess I'll just wait. Plus, there's nothing in that time period announced that'll be fighting for the spot. Like if it did come out in June or earlier or anything like that, there's so many games coming out that I'm interested in. My No Man's Sky prediction seems real wrong.
Yep.
I really thought it was going to come out the same day as No Man's Sky. That was a real wrong prediction. I was also real depressed. I still think the game is going to be PSVR.
It could be.
It's not going to be a launch title. It's not going to be bundled. I was kind of sad about all that.
I didn't think it'd be bundled, but I thought it would be VR.
If the game comes out and bombs, like people hate No Man's Sky for whatever reason, that's going to be a real sad day for me.
Oh, yeah.
Because they could have just Trojan horsed it into my house through the PlayStation VR. And now if the game's bad, I'm just not going to play it on VR.
Won't play it, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll probably still play it.
So I have a list of some of the titles just to go over the ones that I care about. We talked about 100 times the 100-foot robot golf. Ace Combat 7, just awesome.
I want to play that.
Adrift, which is almost like Gravity. You're stuck in space and your oxygen starts lowering and lowering and you're trying to survive.
Can the helmet do oxygen? Can it cut off your oxygen? The VR?
In real life?
Yeah.
I hope not. That'd be the worst game.
Make it more realistic.
Some other ones, Ark, which has been huge, that game.
Yeah.
Is going to be in VR. I'm sure that'll do really well. Battlezone, I believe this is one that they revealed. It's a car kind of combat game, which seemed really, really fun. Lots of fast-paced gaming, which surprised me because I thought fast-paced gaming would not work very well in VR. The Dead or Alive Extreme 3 is going to be VR. I don't know how that's going to work.
Why not?
I just don't understand exactly what you're going to do with the head. I guess it's going to be because those games have rooms where you like just dress up the characters and you can like talk to them or whatever.
Yeah.
I imagine that's the VR part. You can like look around the room. That'd be my guess. Tekken 7, Final Fantasy 14 demo is VR, which is less exciting. Gran Turismo, which is huge.
Yeah.
I think Drive Club's going to be as well, though it's not on this list. But The Kitchen, which is a horror experience to do. The Paranormal Activity one, which I saw, that was the one I was getting the most buzz from at GDC. Lots of people played it. Lots of people really liked it, said it's super scary. People liken it to PT, though I'm always worried when people do that because everything I've played that people are like, it's like PT. No, it's not.
I mean, that's not a good game, so why would you want to be like PT?
I'm going to stab you with this pen.
I mean, that game, it never came out for good reasons, though.
It was actually a terrible reason. Konami just lost their minds. Res Infinite, which I'm real excited about. They announced that that's a launch title. They tweeted that out, so that's huge. Riggs, which will also be a launch title. Excited about that. Until Dawn, Rush of Blood looks really good. Star Wars Battlefront VR. I said Tekken already. The Playroom's getting exclusive VR content. Yeah, so just a bunch of games.
A lot of stuff.
They said 50 games by the end of the year. Psychonauts, which won't be this year, I don't think, but Allison Road, which is a PT-like game that actually does look like it's PT-like. There was like a 20-minute video of it, and it's awesome. I'm very excited for that, and I totally forgot that was VR until I got this list.
Yeah.
So now this kind of begs the question, what's the differences between all the VRs? Somebody that doesn't know anything about VR but is interested, all four of you. what are we looking at? What are some of the differences? We got some specs and stuff printed out. I don't know what they mean, so you can tell me.
Well, the first thing is the PlayStation one. You just plug it in.
Yes.
The other two are PC, so you got to have specs for them.
Mm-hmm.
And they're kind of beefy specs, honestly.
Are they? Is that like $1,000 rig we're talking probably?
At least.
Yeah.
The graphics cards they're talking about, some of those are cheaper, but I mean, anything above that's going to be a few $100s just for the card.
Yeah.
The processor's a couple $100, so yeah, you're going to spend at least $1,000.
So if you're looking for the cheapest one, the PlayStation VR at most will be, I guess, about a little less than $1,000 for the console,
the whole thing,
the setup, and some games.
You got to spend $600 for a Rift and another $1,000 to be able to run the Rift. So
yeah,
at least. They do have higher resolution though.
On the PC ones?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So it's going to be looking a little clearer, which actually matters quite a lot in VR because it breaks the immersion when you see
edges
pixels and things like that. Yeah.
And they've got a better field of view than the PlayStation VR.
What is it, by like 10 degrees?
Yeah, it's only 10 degrees, but
yeah,
it may not be a big difference.
Mm-hmm. From early, like the press that have played all of them, I haven't been lucky enough to play them all. They actually think that the PlayStation VR is better than the other ones in lots of ways, mainly because of latency. It seems like that's the one where you put it on and it just works. You don't feel sick at all. Like it tracks you very well. And I think the refresh rate on it is faster than the other ones, if I'm not mistaken, which might be the reason for that. Yeah,
it'll run at 120 hertz. The other ones don't.
Also, I'm sure their screen looks beautiful because Sony's in the business of making displays. That's one of their things.
That's one of their big businesses.
So I'm sure you won't be gypped if you get the PlayStation VR.
No, I mean it has lower resolution, but it's still 1080p. It's still going to look really good.
Yeah, I've heard nothing bad about any of the nothing.
The 120 hertz kind of surprised me. I mean, that's kind of a big deal. It cleans up images a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like the monitor I use is 144 hertz, and you can tell a huge difference.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, see, I have no clue.
I love that monitor.
I believe you.
I would be on 4K, but they don't make 144 hertz 4K monitors yet, so that's why I haven't switched. That and a 4K card is like $700.
I'm sure. It costs more than the VR setup.
It wouldn't cost more than the HTC one. It would than the Oculus.
So the big thing that's different between the Oculus and the Vive is that the Vive is almost like a room setup. I think it's estimated, but I could be wrong. It could be confirmed that it's like a 15 by 15 area, and you can walk around. It's got these break apart. They don't break apart, but it's got controllers that seem like they're broken apart controllers. They're definitely the coolest controllers out of all of them, I think. And you walk around. You can walk around in the 3D space. You can't do that with the PSVR or the Oculus, which leads me to say that if I were to buy one, I would either want to just spend the extra money and get the Oculus, since the specs on the PC are pretty similar.
Yeah, they're very similar.
Not get the Oculus, sorry, get the Vive. Just spend the extra money and get the Vive, since the specs are similar. Or just get the one that I know will work, which is the PSVR, which is what I personally am going to do.
I'm getting more and more interested in the Vive. At first, the $800 turned me off, but the more I see about it, the more I like it.
I mean, that's just the nature of PC game. People, they love their PC gaming, and they know that PC gamers will spend the money to get the coolest stuff.
Like, I'm probably going to buy one of those $700 cards in the next few months because I'd like to have one.
Yeah. And then that allows you to spend $800 to play some VR on it.
I could probably run the Vive now. My computer be pushing it because my graphics card has the 4 gig minimum for VRAM, and I've got all the ports it needs.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. PlayStation VR obviously it'll work if you have PlayStation, but it's an HDMI and a USB plug-in, I believe, which are both on the PlayStation.
Yeah.
What do you need? What's the plugins for the other two?
Well, the Rift is easy, HDMI and USB. It says USB 3.0, and it says 2 of them, which I thought was odd.
That is odd.
But I mean, my computer has that, so most modern computers have USB 3.0.
Yeah, mine does do.
The Vive has all sorts of plugs and shit on it.
I'm sure it's a whole room arrangement.
Like
it's like hooking up surround sound.
Oh, that's easy. Anyway,
keep going.
It's got like some 3-in-1 like connector interface box and HDMI display ports, and it's got a bunch of stuff on it. Yeah. But again, modern computers have all that stuff. It's got its own power block even, which kind of surprised me too.
So, as far as if you're a Nintendo fan or a Microsoft fan, Nintendo, we don't know what they're doing VR-wise.
We don't know what they're doing.
We don't know. Microsoft has the HoloLens, which is at least a few years out. We haven't even seen, like, PlayStation VR, they announced it and kind of showed it off, and that the look of the device and everything's very similar to what we're getting as our retail release. Microsoft revealed the HoloLens, but that's clearly not the final product. They did put out that one Conquer video that everybody loved about it, but I don't know what they're doing with the VR. They are partnered with Oculus, so this is important. The Oculus comes with a controller for the Xbox One, to use on your PC, but and it can stream to the Xbox One if you have the PC, and you can play your Xbox One games streamed kind of to the headset. It doesn't make them VR compatible. All it does is it allows you to, it basically simulates you in a theater playing in the center of the theater or whatever, looking at the screen, and it'll put your game on that screen, which could be really cool.
Yeah, that could be neat.
It could be awful, but it could be really cool. I'm sure the Vive does it, and I know the PlayStation VR does it as well. They call it cinematic mode. You can play any of your games. You can watch Netflix, all that stuff. And it's kind of like you can sit in the back of the theater, the middle of the theater, or the front row. That's kind of how
wherever you want to be.
They described it. Yeah, there's 3 zooms for you to choose between.
Zoom, zoom, zoom.
Yeah, so that was cool. I'd be interested in laying in bed and just watching Netflix and then probably falling asleep. And my eyes will probably melt.
Helmet on.
Yeah, my eyes will probably melt. I was thinking it's wired, it's all wired, which is kind of the only unfortunate thing about it, because you can't really somebody's gonna die falling asleep with this thing on.
It's a very real possibility.
And rolling over and strangling themselves,
crunching a bunch of stuff.
I don't know. You'd probably wake up. I'm not sure how sleeping and getting strangled works, but.
I do think it's interesting the Vive's the only one that doesn't have built-in audio.
Yeah, the PlayStation one I think is a little weird. It comes with little earbuds, which I'm sure are awful, just the earbuds that came with the PlayStation 4 are awful. I'm hoping that they optimized it for the PlayStation headset, the gold headset.
The one I have.
Yeah. I hope they optimized it for that. Maybe it fits, they made sure it fits super comfortably with that, which would make sense. That has the 3D surround sound that you need for
it does the 5.1
VR.
simulated. I use that headset for everything.
Yeah, me too. I love that headset. It's actually a very good headset.
I use it on my PC. So.
For the price, it's awesome. You can pick them up for $60,
yeah.
and it's definitely worth it. I'd recommend it to anybody who's looking at headsets.
I think sweet.
So is there any VR titles that you personally are interested in, super excited for?
Anything with a cockpit, be it car or plane or spaceship. That's what I want.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of want a baseball VR game. It just seems like fun.
That's interesting.
I hadn't thought about sports games till the other day.
So
2K tried that first-person football thing for a little while.
Oh yeah, that gave people seizures.
Yeah, that'd be fun in VR, minus the seizures. I don't want that, but.
Yeah, I personally am more interested in not first-person things like that. I think that's obvious.
Yeah.
But I'm interested in the experiences that aren't so obvious that we're going to get to. I think Tekken's a prime example of that. I think that could be interesting, or it could be awful. I think Lucky's Tale, which is Oculus exclusive, which kind of breaks my heart that I won't be able to play that.
Maybe.
Unless somebody I know gets an Oculus, which would be sweet. I would like to play that game. And then the other thing is interactive movies are going to be a thing. I know some ex-Pixar team is working with some ex... Oh, what was the team? It wasn't Halo. It was another developer. I can't remember who. A game developer.
How about a VR Telltale game?
Oh, that sounds awesome.
I'd like that. If they made the Batman VR ready.
That would be real cool.
I'd like to do that. It'd be fun.
I think it would be awesome to have a VR movie where you can, it's basically, they just act it out and they did it with a 3D camera or whatever, and you could kind of go anywhere in that space and the movie plays out. So you could eavesdrop in on this conversation and piece all that together, and then the next time you watch it, maybe you eavesdrop on somebody else or you go somewhere else. I think obviously it won't happen, but I think Hateful Eight, since it's set all in kind of one area, would be an awesome...
Most of the movies in that
Yeah, would be an awesome place to do a VR experience movie. But so the first ones of those are going to be coming out. I'm interested. I don't think you could there's that Hardcore Henry movie coming out in April. I think that'd make you throw up in VR.
I could see that. Yeah, the hardcore movie make you throw up.
Yeah, it's just way too much.
Him jumping through.
It has to be calm. They have a trailer for I wish I could remember the name. I don't want to use the computer because I kind of bugged out the audio last time I did that.
Yep.
But they have a trailer for this movie, and it's 3D animated, very stylized. It almost looks like a watercolor painting. But interested to see how everything evolves. Just even sporting events, like being able to buy a pay-per-view where the camera is 3D and you can look around. It's like ringside, and you can just look around. I'm so excited. I'm so excited, Kellen.
Yeah, a 3D VR camera for UFC fights. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I'd pay for that.
Yeah,
and I don't know, because you can't buy it. And they said that the processing box on the PlayStation VR is used more to get so you can do multiplayer games. So 4 people or however many people see the TV and they play on there, and then the one person has a different, kind of like the Wii U. The one person has a different thing on their headset. I think that's going to be interesting. There's just so many possibilities that I hope pan out, and I really don't think this is a gimmick. People compare it to 3D TVs, which I personally still love, but people compare it to 3D TVs and motion controls and all this stuff that failed. It's a little more involved. Yeah, the problem is you're looking at the games and you're comparing them to games that you're playing already, and they're not the same thing. This is more like when you played a 2D game and then you played a 3D game. The 2D games look better than the first 3D games. And you have to admit that. But the 3D games were new and they were interesting, and then they developed into what we have today. And I really honestly do believe that this is the next step. These games don't look as good because they're the first of what we're going to be getting in the future, and I'm so excited.
Yeah, it's the first steps. You got to start somewhere.
All right. So finally, we can move on to the game releases.
Woo!
Gareth did more write-ups. And
he's all right.
Surprised, there's more games coming out.
It's like they do this every week.
I know. So what do we got this week?
March 21st, Neptunia U Action Unleashed for the PC. The hack and slash game in your Neptunia universe.
Yeah, I haven't played this one. It's actually the one, I think there's 7 of them. It's the one that's not sure. It's probably my 6th one of least interested. I don't like when they mess with the formula like that. I just don't really care. But it's awesome that it's coming to PC. Lots of games like that have been coming there. They announced Danganronpa is coming in April. Danganronpa 2.
The first one's already there.
Yeah, it's coming in April, and all these games. Super cool.
I'll probably get those on Steam, the Danganronpas. Because I still have 190 Steam dollars to spend. So
I think the reviews for all the Neptunia games on Steam are really high.
Probably.
If they're always front page or however Steam works. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot of JRPG and stuff like that on Steam, so... March 22nd, 101 Ways to Die. Puzzle platformer. You gotta be creative and kill stuff. Trying to kill off these little creatures in creative ways.
Interesting.
Sounds like a normal Tuesday.
It sounds like... I'm sure it's not because it's not that style game, but there was a game called 1001 Spikes where you just died every corner you went around, and you had 1001 lives to beat all the levels, and I thought that was kind of cool.
Well, this one you're setting up experiments to kill things in funny ways, I guess. We should try that.
In real life?
With you. Next, we've got Cat Lateral Damage for the PS4. Console release of a first-person game where you're a cat that destroys a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, I saw the trailer for this. I was excited when I read the name and I heard what it was about, and then I watched the trailer. I was like, I'm never going to play this. It's a lot like the games like I Am Bread and stuff like that. They're streaming games, Octodad. Yeah. They're Surgeon Simulator. They're just streaming games that make people look stupid and silly, and you're a cat and you try to knock all the stuff off the shelf like a cat does.
It's like that goat game.
Yeah, Goat Simulator. Yeah, stuff like that. Not for me. I'm sure the internet will love it.
Yeah, it'll probably be on Twitch for a month. Yeah. Day of the Tentacle Special Edition, PS4, Vita, PC.
This is a good video game.
A remaster.
Yeah, it's part of the Grim Fandango and all those remasters.
And it's on Vita.
Yeah, that's why I'm talking about it. And It's part of those remasters that they did for the old LucasArts games. Real cool. It's a lot of people's favorite of the ones that they've done. I think they've done 3 of them, but it's a lot of people's favorite. So
I'll be here.
I hope they do Psychonauts.
Yeah, I think they will.
Yeah.
Next we got Dragon Fantasy: The Black Tome of Ice, remaster of a 16-bit JRPG.
That's
on the
cool.
PS4. Yeah.
If it's a remaster in the way that like they're doing a remaster of Dragon Quest VII, I want to say, for the 3DS, something like
I
that.
think so.
And like they just redid the whole game, but it's still true to the original. If it's something like that, that's always cool for people, fans of that particular game.
Fallout 4 Automatron DLC. So the first big Fallout 4 DLC will be here. Xbox, PS4, PC.
Yeah, saw a lot of people talking about that. The trailer apparently is way more story driven than I think people were giving it credit for when they did their little write up that wasn't very good.
Yeah.
So if you were kind of down on it, I would say look at the trailer because it might be something you didn't expect for the price because I think it's pretty cheap.
Yeah, it's supposed to be pretty big too for as cheap as it is.
Yeah.
Lichdom Battle Mage, Xbox, PS4. Console release for first-person RPG came out on PC last year. Instead of guns, you got spells. First-person RPG.
Okay.
Nelly Kudalat, The Foul Fleet, PC, Mac, Linux. Pirate point-and-click adventure game.
Lots of pirate games. I think
what do you got against pirates?
Nothing. I like pirates. I think last week we had 2 or 3 pirate games. And we got more this week, huh?
Well, this one's got a notable voice actor, Tom Baker from Doctor Who. Next we got Out of the Park Baseball, PC. It's a baseball managing simulation. It's actually licensed, so it's kind of surprising.
Yeah. There are not too many licensed sports things going on.
Oh, yeah.
There's kind of a monopoly on that.
For football there is, yeah, but baseball, I guess, does whatever they want.
Baseball has the show.
Yep. That's coming in about a week. Not this week, but next week. So 10 days.
I'm done naming stuff.
Well, it's show and 2K makes baseball, so.
No, okay, I don't know anything.
Yeah, you don't. Next we got Republic, PS4. Console release of an episodic adventure stealth game.
Yeah, this game's supposed to be really good. Really cool. I love the cover art of the game because it's actually coming out physically.
Yeah.
I'm going to look into it a little more. I think it was on like iPads and stuff like that. So I don't know how in depth it is.
Maybe they've added some stuff for you.
Right, but I'm interested. Love the name.
Yeah. Trackmania Turbo, Xbox, PS4, PC. A massively multiplayer arcade racer. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting.
I'm not sure how that's going to work.
It's like one of those things where you say like make up a color. You're like, I can't do it. Every color I can think of exists.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's a lot of that for like game franchises. It's like, what can we shove together to make a new game franchise?
How many tag words can we fit in our title?
Yeah.
March 24th, The Descendant, PC. Story-driven point-and-click adventure game. You're a cryogenically frozen survivor of an apocalyptic event. So apocalypse happens and you survive being cryogenically frozen. God, I hope it's just Futurama.
There is a Futurama game on the original Xbox.
Yeah, I never played it though.
It comes with, I found this out recently, it comes with an exclusive episode of the show that's never aired.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Now I have to find it. Next we got Samaras 3, PC and Mac. Another point-and-click puzzle adventure game. Yeah.
Point-and-click games making a resurgence here.
Well, yeah, they're always around. Next we got Slain for the PC. Heavy metal-inspired combat puzzle with gore galore. I like that. Old school, heavy metal soundtrack kind of thing.
Okay.
Next we got Total War Battles Kingdom, PC, Mac, iOS, Android. Cross-platform version of Total War, like a little bite-sized Total War. Free to play though. March 25th we get the Hyrule Warriors Legends for 3DS.
I'm very interested to see how that game does.
I'm interested to see how it runs.
I was about to say both performance-wise and critically performance-wise because they're adding more content to a game on the Wii U that's supposed to run on the 3DS, and I have no clue how that's going to work.
We're going to find out.
Yeah. They have a pretty sweet deal if you buy it to like transfer all your stuff to the Wii U, so you have them there too. And then there's a whole new season pass with all new content, which is awesome.
Yeah, they're keeping up with that game fairly well. So.
Very well. I'm not interested in playing that game particularly anymore. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I think it's a great game. If people haven't played it, I think they should actually pick it up, wait for the reviews, make sure it runs. But I don't think I'm going to pick up a neutered version of the game. I feel like I already have the definitive edition of that game. So
the best way to play it is probably still Wii U, but we don't know yet.
That's true. And that's all of them?
That's it.
All right, so let's move into what we're currently playing. I'll go first. I've already talked about a bunch of them. So Final Fantasy 13-2, I talked about that last week. Right afterwards, I beat it. I was at the final fight. The ending didn't change my opinion of the game too much. If anything, it
really
changed. Yeah, it may have changed it a little negatively, but like I play that game for the gameplay. I know Final Fantasy's stories are whatever.
Our Final Fantasies,
they're disposable to me, and all the newer ones, so it doesn't really change too much. Yeah, I just beat it, and that's basically all it is to me. Waiting to start 13-3. Very scared for that game. Think I'm gonna hate it. Probably I want to beat maybe 2 games in between, and then I'll do that and I'll be done with those, and then I can move on to the rest of my backlog, which is actually thinning out now. So
finally,
all these delays, and the Mighty Number 9 delay and the Uncharted delay and all these.
Mighty Number 9 got delayed?
Yeah, it probably just got delayed as we speak. You say the name too much and it gets delayed.
There's another 100 mentions, and there it goes.
Yeah. So I'll probably wait a little bit, and then I'll jump into the next one, and then my backlog's looking a lot better. We're tackling the long games here. So I've been playing Tales from the Borderlands. I only finished the first chapter because I really liked it. Didn't absolutely love it until like the back half of the first chapter. I really got into it. I've never played a Borderlands game. There's a bunch of references that I can tell are references that I don't get.
You just don't get, yeah.
And I was talking to my friend about it, and he told me his favorite part of the game, and then maybe 10 minutes later they made a reference directly to it, and I was like, hey, they just talked about that. I was like, thank you for telling me that. It's gotten me so interested that I may try Borderlands 2.
Is there a lot of claptrap in the game?
I have not seen a claptrap.
That's disappointing.
But there's characters in the game that I know of-ish, and I don't really know what they do in Borderlands or how they work or anything like that. But so I'm interested. I might play Borderlands 2 because of this game. That's pretty good.
I played most of the first one, but I hadn't played the second one.
Yeah, this game is also funny. They did a comedy. Like, all their things that they've done are so suspenseful and tense and, dark. And this is a humorous, like, happy thing. I love the way... I'm going to explain kind of, not the story, but how it's broken out. Because there's something in a game that I've never seen before that I really liked. Basically... it's literally tales. Like, they're telling stories back and forth, and it's like perspective based. Oh, yeah. So depending on who's telling the story, it kind of changes in their favor, and you dictate that favor. So like, it could be like, for an example that I'm making up, I shot them in the face, or I shook their hand and welcomed them. So, like, that's the thing, and then the story starts there. So you can have I assume drastically, I don't know, I've only played it once, different stories. So I think that's really, really neat. Also, leads are the same leads of Final Fantasy 13 too. They're just in every game that I play, and I like it very much. I think I'm just going to start looking up games with them in them.
We'll just play all those games.
I played through Mega Man 7. It's my Let's Play. You can go check it out. I beat that a couple times to get the rhythm of it, and then I played it for the Let's Play. And then the other game I'm playing is Mega Man 8. Game is not as good as I remembered it as a kid, and it breaks my heart. But I've been playing through it a couple times. I'm a little wonky at it. I enjoy it, but it's definitely weaker than I remember. It was one of my favorites as a kid. And the last thing I have is Pokken, because... Today, after we film this, we're probably going to play some Pokken.
It's in the bag.
We'll see how it goes. I'm actually... I talked down on it because I know you like Pokemon and stuff. I'm a big fan of Tekken. I'm a big fan of fighting games. There's not too many fighting games that I just straight up hate. I'm expecting to have a blast.
I like Pokken. It is a blast.
Yeah. So, what have you been playing?
The last day it's been mostly Pokken.
Yeah.
Because it came in Friday afternoon. I've already fought like 60 fights or something.
Yeah, we're actually filming this one on time because Todd's not here.
Yeah, that's amazing. Oh yeah, I've been wearing out Pokken since I got it. I've put a lot more time in the Division. That game's really good.
Yeah, I saw some reviews. Angry Joe, who does YouTube reviews, didn't like the game very much, and I was kind of surprised because it seems like something that he would enjoy.
I love the game. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I've heard that's the first like negative thing I've heard about the game.
I wandered into the Dark Zone yesterday.
I don't know what that means.
That's the multiplayer part of the city. It's literally just a part of the city that's walled off from multiplayer. I just wandered into it. It's fun. It's a lot of fun.
So in his review, it's so funny. I really liked his review. He did a great job. The intro of it is the trailer from E3 2013, and like the map zooms out, and there's all these dark zones and stuff. And he's like, "This is not how the game works. Why is there multiple dark zones? What's going on?" And I was like, "This is pretty funny."
Actually, there are multiple dark zones. They're just connected.
Well, I mean, he walks out he walks out and he's like, "Oh, Manhattan," and he's like, "Nope," and then like he's naming all these things that are not in the game. DLC.
It could be.
Is there anything else you're playing?
I finished Fire Emblem Fates Birthright, finally. It's actually done. Already started on the next one a little bit. Really excited about that.
Yeah,
Birthright was great.
I really want to play those games, actually. I'm getting more and more interested in trying them out. Those, and I was told to play Phoenix Wright.
Yeah.
So I might add one of those to my
Those
backlog.
games are awesome, too.
I like Danganronpa, and I think they're like a more fun Danganronpa.
Pretty much.
Fun as in lighthearted, not fun.
They're much more lighthearted than Danganronpa.
Yeah, Danganronpa's real dark.
And
so I might add one of those. I've actually been wanting to, because we play a lot of fighting games. I was looking to pick up the Marvel vs. Capcom 3, which is still an expensive PS3 game.
Yeah, it is.
And then I wanted the Ultimate Edition, and then I was like, I'll just get the other one because it's like $30 cheaper or something like that. And then I was told that the Ultimate Edition has Phoenix Wright, and I was like, oh crap,
that's worth $30.
I gotta get that one.
Yeah. So yeah, I finished that finally. The story's really good. The game's really good. It plays just like you expect a Fire Emblem game to play. I'm excited for the second one or the next one. They're all the same game kind of.
Man, that pen noise is killing me.
All right, good.
Get a new pen.
Nope, I like this one. Had it for a long time.
I hope it's just coming through and it just sounds like somebody scraping a chalkboard.
Probably.
I mean, that's what it sounds like to me. So you finished Fire Emblem.
The first one.
I might have to borrow that.
Okay. You should have told me I would have brought it.
I mean, I wouldn't get to it right now anyway.
No, that's fair.
I want to get through Tales first. So is that it?
Pretty
That's
much.
all you've been playing?
Those 3 games, that's about it.
All right, so now we move on to the unpopular opinion. Nothing spoilery today. Just good old, fun little battle that I'm very interested to see how this goes. We talked about it. We teased it a little last week.
Yeah, and they gave me no prep time.
Oh, yeah, and then I was like, oh, we're going to do it today. So Sonic and Mario are big old icons.
Old, yeah.
Yeah, in the gaming industry, they've always been compared. Sonic, kind of the new hip, younger character, and Mario, the old man plumber. That doesn't actually make any sense if you think about it.
It doesn't do, yeah.
It's in some kingdom with a bunch of mushroom people. The people have been turned into blocks. Do you know about this? In the actual manual for the game, the citizens of Mushroom Kingdom, that's why there's no other people, have been turned into blocks.
Oh, yeah,
and then, you're breaking them with your stupid skull.
Them with your head.
Yeah.
That hat's made of something awesome.
Yeah, I'll say. He actually lifts his hand. I don't know. He's just super strong. I don't know why he doesn't, dig downward. But anyway, so you're going to attempt to explain to me, and I have a different opinion too. I put it down here. I don't know if you saw it.
Yeah, I saw it. It's hard to argue with that.
You think Sonic is better than Mario. Now, do you still feel this way, or do you think that he was better back in the day?
As a kid.
Okay. I think that's important.
I completely
because Sonic
love
is
Sonic.
Awful now.
They haven't made a good Sonic game in a long time.
I don't believe they've made a good Sonic game, honestly.
Yeah, but you're dumb.
All right, so go ahead, take the floor. Why?
As a kid, I love Sonic because I thought games should be fast-paced, and what does he do? He rolls around real fast. That was about it.
And you miss half the game
No.
because he goes so fast that you can't keep up with him unless you know the game already.
Yeah, that's the point. You have to learn the game. Kind of like your Mega Mans. You have to learn the game. and
No,
once you
because
do it,
Mega Man, it's fun as you go. Sonic, you just run straight forward and you're like, oh, I hit something.
you turn into
I
a
guess
ball.
So the worst part of Mega Man 8 is there's a part where it goes really fast and it tells you to jump or slide. And if you mess up, you die. That's Sonic to me.
Well, Sonic doesn't always
Except Sonic doesn't
immediately
warn
die.
you that you need to jump or die. Yeah, that's true. You lose your... That's another thing about Sonic I never liked. You lose your rings. It's like your life, but I
Yeah,
don't
you can
know
you
why.
can take more than one hit because you have rings. They jump out of you, or they fly out of you. I guess. They
Why?
jump.
I don't know. For some reason, eating a mushroom and getting bigger makes more
Yeah, because
sense
that makes
to me.
more sense than collecting gold.
Yeah, I like Sonic's... I was thinking about it. I like Sonic's design better.
Yeah.
I think Sonic looks better until you start going into 3D space. I think Sonic looks better. I think the idea of Sonic's a little bit better. I'm not sure.
Yeah, Mario never made sense to me as a kid. It's like, why is this plumber so good at smashing stuff? I don't
Yeah.
get it.
It's like they just randomly... He was actually named after a real plumber, I believe. I don't know if it was Miyamoto's, but I think he had a plumber that... Because it was from the original Mario Bros. Where you actually were in the sewers. And there's turtles. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, Mario never made sense
When
to
you
me.
sit down and think about it, they're both kind of stupid.
Oh yeah, so you're a hedgehog. Oh, yeah.
That runs real
That's
fast.
blue, and he runs and rolls real fast.
So
I used to love charging up Sonic spin and just shooting off, see how fast I get to the levels. I love doing that. It's
Sonic
fun.
to me, and the reason I don't really like him or relate to him, I guess, is he reminded me
I
a
don't
lot of
relate to him. I'm not a blue hedgehog, so
I mean, you can relate to things you're not.
sometimes.
It reminds me of pinball a lot,
Yeah, that's another part of the thing.
and I don't like pinball. I think
Who doesn't like?
I think it's
pinball?
real boring.
You have a pinball machine downstairs.
Yeah, it's not by choice. I think it's real boring.
Who doesn't like pinball?
Me, like
You never played the old PC pinball game, the little 3D pinball?
I played a lot of that.
All right then. So you do like pinball. You're just a liar.
I forgot about that. I don't know. I like Mario's slower pace. I think Mario's got that perfect learning. Like, you learn a little bit more and you're able to do things faster. I feel like the challenges in Mario aren't more than you can bear. You can kind of look at it and assess the situation and go, okay, here we go. I'm going through it. Sonic, I don't feel like that's true. I
You
feel
can
like
do
you
that
just
in
die.
Sonic if you learn how to stop.
Yeah, that's difficult.
Which
And
is
then
hard to do.
and then sometimes you stop and then you try to get started and you like,
Oh, it
don't have the
takes-
momentum.
That
and then
was
you
the
gotta
only
go
thing I didn't like.
backwards.
'Cause you'd have to roll around.
To me, Sonic felt like a maze that I was always lost in, and I randomly found the way out.
You just got to go fast enough
Whereas you can't. You just gotta go fast and eat chili dogs.
and stay out of the water. Yeah.
Whereas Mario, I felt like the objective was always very, very clear.
It just didn't make sense to me as a kid, though.
Also,
What is Yoshi? Where did we get this turtle Yoshi thing from? Best character in Mario.
Sonic's villain is just Dr. Wily.
Yeah, that's true. He's just straight up
Knuckles'
Dr.
Tails
Wily.
is real stupid.
I kind of like Knuckles. He's all right.
I don't know. I've never played a Sonic game until last year. Was my first time ever playing one, actually.
I think I might have been.
And I was like, these games aren't good.
I might have been 4. I still have my Game Gear with Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Probably still works. I haven't turned it on in a while.
So, the real MVP and best mascot character is Crash Bandicoot.
Well, the best mascot character is Master Chief, but we'll ignore that one.
Is Crash Bandicoot. I think Crash Bandicoot's better than all the other ones. Except he's only in... I guess he's in like 4 real good games and then he's just trash.
He's got 1, 2, 3 in racing.
I don't know. Mario has a theme park coming up and Sonic is like forgotten about.
They went to the Olympic Games together.
They did. They're friends
A lot
now.
of times. Yeah, I always thought that was odd, but...
That they're now friends.
Yeah,
They're
they're
like...
best friends.
They're frenemies.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching this episode of the Press X Podcast. Please like the video, share, and subscribe. Thank you for being here, Kellen.
Yeah.
And thank you for watching.